AI companion. Here. Full screen. A on with the Iowa Amy. We don't need to do anything. There's somebody in tomorrow. They should be able to chat and we'll see the chat.
We're waiting for you.
Or you can.
Okay, bye.
They have to chat. Okay, it is poorly. There's somebody else.
We talked about being the meeting yesterday, but he gets busy.
Oh, I know. I see him running in and out. He drives by my office like 8 times every single day.
And that's not counting the times he walks from there down to church.
That too, yeah.
This will come down.
I feel it.
That's a 43. That's a $43,000 one. That's what we have to do a little bit.
This is only $447.75.
Oh, well, that's my personal thing.
Okay.
You guys.
Everybody gets half.
Yeah.
All over the place.
Snow here.
Yeah, you know, we've had one small snowstorm, and one or 2 inches, but.
So hopefully that gets me. Oh, at least I won't fly up me. And I have to sorry for them, because they're not like prepared by.
For more than my retirement. I just signed a check for, which is more than my retirement.
Burning. There's somebody like this.
That's right, we're on recording. You hear that recording?
They put a tent in their house. Oh, yeah, seemed like a big tent, you know, when they had that there. I'm like, oh, she says. Yeah, it was so good. They said that's. That's just, that's what I think. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, got a kick out of Roy and Steve being a post on those guys. Hi, and he goes.
I'm all right.
She's busy, huh? He's busy.
Yep.
I had my back opening up the box.
Oh, okay.
Just being
Okay.
polite.
If you look at its sides like blue, yeah, and then as you shine it in light.
Oh, kind of like a chameleon. Yeah,
Yeah,
so you do yourself.
it's gel.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gel filled. Yeah, I just did them a couple days ago because I hadn't done them in about a month and they were looking really, really bad. And I went, I better do something.
Get on it, get on it.
Yeah, and I didn't intend to because I was starting with this color. See how it's kind of like orange and purple. And it's like, no, I like this one better. And then I got thinking about it.
I like that.
I went, oh, yeah.
Spring cream.
Long Valley Green.
Yeah, this is it.
You know, and I said, it must be.
They're playing my husband's team for the Super Bowl, New England
It's
Patriots.
a rematch.
Yeah, because they played
Because we
them
lost in the Super Bowl in
in 2009.
We're gonna be Super Bowl
Yeah,
29.
yeah,
Yeah, we lost against some.
Made all day yesterday, no seizures.
They decided they wanted to throw 1 yard of the goal.
You just never know.
yeah. Was that when Sherman was on the, was that when he was on the?
Yeah.
He was on it. Oh, my goodness, yeah.
Skittles and salt.
And the seizures. The psychologist.
Oh, really?
See what you know, flash a picture, draw that picture.
Right.
No, they've always been insane every single
The
year.
lowest is 200, wait, what, 2,180?
Sounds about
By 30, Herald Public Utility District, called this regular meeting, stand for pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Mrs. Kessler.
I am here.
Mrs. Sir.
Here,
Mrs. Johnson.
Here,
and he's right outside.
Here, and we have a long call from the outside. Mr. Lee.
He is here.
Call of the wild there.
Yeah. Health of the wild.
As long as no wolves come in, we'll be too.
Yeah.
If we can ask for approval of the agenda.
We have one change that we need to make on our agenda. Unfortunately, didn't catch that it should be December's preliminary finances, not November's. So if we can approve the agenda with the change of December's finances.
I move to approve the agenda with the change of, the, stated as Sandy said, November, what,
To December.
to December's finances.
And I'll second it.
I said here for you, Lee.
Okay, thank you so much. So kind.
We heard you in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Oh, the wild is what I called it.
Thank you so much.
We need a vote on the.
Yes, we're voting on the agenda with the one change. What, yes?
I was just raising my hand.
Oh, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay, it's carried. Public comment? Anything? Mail in or anything? Anybody on Zoom?
Is there a way for them to see that it changed with the money?
Did you find anything?
No.
Oh, okay. Have public comment? No. I thought that we were gonna have a moment of silence for Doug LaMonta.
You can add that. I did not
Oh,
get that memo.
yeah, well, I think we're doing it, I think we're doing that tomorrow night. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Review of district norms policy 4005, and they're pictured out there, some of you. Three of you looked at that and
Did.
have questions?
I do not.
Okay. Mr.
No, I don't.
Harris.
No, I don't. Thank you, sir.
Mrs. Johnson,
No questions.
make a motion that we accept.
It's not an action item. It's just a review. The board requested a couple years ago to review this on a quarterly basis, so.
So we have to read it out loud. Okay. Thank you. It's on the back wall.
It's on the back. Barbara made an extra copy besides the copy that's in your books.
Okay, minutes, review and possible action approving the minutes from December 16, 2025 regular board meeting. Mr. Chester, you have something to add or?
I do not. I read through them.
Jason,
Same here, I read through them. Yeah, nothing to add.
we,
Nothing to add, sir. Thank you.
you want
Nothing to add, all good.
a motion on that?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as is.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Financial review and file November 2025 financial statements.
So this is the preliminary of December. Unfortunately, at the time when we printed these financials, we were having some difficulty with our Cassell software. There were some double entries, so the fire income and which also, if you look under the O and M, under the elevated tank is doubled. The last check is double entry, so those have all been corrected since these were published. And I think when we finalize the journal entries, we'll be bringing back a preliminary for 2025, so you get to see these again corrected. So this is just a preliminary attached. There's the bank accounts, the investments, Mally sheets, the total monies in your banks. There's also, we used to do a delinquent log, and I added that back in. If that's something you guys want to see or not see, we can adjust to that. And then also I need a separate motion because annually we receive and file the fees paid to the directors and staff, and that is included in this report too. What was reported?
That's what you have to put on this,
Did you come?
Mr.
No, I didn't.
Mr. Harris.
No, I don't say, thank you.
Mr. Johnson.
No, nothing.
Well, there's a separate page before the mileage log. At least on mine.
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Okay.
Being two-sided, and Brianna, when I seen it had all the backup to it, and I took the backup out of it, so you guys only have one page, so. And showing the 2025. So I would like a motion to receive and file the preliminary December finances along with a motion or including receiving and filing the 2025 fees paid to directors and staff.
Like you made it.
Well, and I will note that because of after my contract that we changed the a stipend for my vehicle instead of driving the vehicle on a daily basis. That's hence why the last quarter of 2025 brought up the dollar amount that I received.
Any questions?
No.
Anybody?
No.
We're hearing what we've heard. Nobody wants to bring up a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept the financials, including the director's fees and staff fees that were paid for 2025.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Policy 4050, second review and possible action to update policy 450 and adding 4050-7, .7-11.
So this was brought to the board last month. We're trying to come up with some information on if there was any critiques that we could add to directors, but they're elected official and there's nothing we can really do. And then we were with a possible person that was running for the board, has always had past due, saying that they needed to be current. There was other things, but that's nothing. It's an elected official and therefore they're elected to the board for their term, so there's nothing we can add to this. But looking through other special districts policies, those were suggestions from other districts and from our attorney and from Special Districts Leadership Foundation, the 7 through 11. So. This is up to the favor of the board, whether to add those or leave that policy as is. So it's a review and possible update.
Yes,
First, I have a question about this whole thing, this policy. The third paragraph down, if anyone reads what it has to say about the conduct of a board member, I'd like to know who determines proper or improper conduct of a board member? Is this to be determined by a unanimous vote of the board in open session? Or necessarily in closed session at the meeting? And then what are the repercussions / actions against improper conduct?
where we had that improper conduct of a board member previously.
And who made the determination as to whether that was proper or improper? And what are the repercussions behind improper conduct? If any, that can be, dealt with or however it's supposed to be taken care of.
At that time, our attorney sort of handled that one in that particular time, if you remember.
But in
So
an
it's a
open.
matter of the chair of the board to speak up and shut down a member
With
for
out of
improper
control.
conduct. So
Mhm.
whoever is the chairperson would have the right to go into take a recess and talk to that, ask for a short adjournment. You could talk to that board member. If you don't feel like you can reel in that board member, you can either ask that board member to leave, or you can adjourn the meeting to another time when that board member is not welcome. Or
How do you prevent that board member from coming to a meeting if he chooses to come to one?
so, it depends on, unfortunately, you're elected official, so the few districts and we're not the only one that this has happened to. Speaking of Southern California, Fire Department, they actually had I wanna say cease and disorder, but it was what is it when you can't come with so many yards? A restraining order. A restraining order, and that director could zoom in, but was not allowed to be in the presence because he had caused so much commotion with staff and board members. Which made it, a little more difficulty, besides the fact that when you're doing a vote, that's one thing, but they were cutting, they could cut him off a lot easier on Zoom than they could in person. But he was that way. The resolution that we did on a past board member is also prior practice for at least 3 other districts that have done resolutions against the board. And unfortunately, because you are elected official, the only way you can get off a board is when your term is up, or if you do a recall. And a recall, unfortunately, is very expensive for special districts. So the only thing you really can do is hope that a resolution hits a little bit of, it's like a bad report card, but you can't really do anything about it. You can't get rid of that person.
There was something that was brought against that individual, but it really didn't mean anything. It was just what was that?
We asked for an apology and
Right.
he
Wouldn't do it.
correct.
Right.
And there really was no retaliation that we could do. 40, 50, like 9 kind of answers that question.
Is that answer enough for you? Don't you want more?
Martin, I think if I understand it right, when you have a problem with a board member or someone in the audience that a board member perceives as being something not appropriate, that should be addressed to the board chairperson to, again, address that individual and not the not the board member. Because it's difficult to sit here as a board member and take attacks from anyone sitting out there without opening my mouth and saying something back. Am I right?
Yeah, it's up to the chair to either, if we can't control the person in the audience or the board, then we can take a recess
Mhm.
Right.
and hopefully resolve any issue. When you take a recess, the board could say, hey, the rest of the people leave, and you could have an individual conversation with that board member or with that individual. But then you could if you feel like that everybody's okay to restart the meeting, then you could restart the meeting again.
That answers another question, because then I thought, well, do we have to go into closed session? No, the recess would take care of that.
Right.
Gotcha. Okay.
And if you felt like you weren't going to be able to come to an agreement, then you could actually recess the meeting to another date
Mhm.
and complete the meeting another
Have a
day.
cooling off period.
Yes. And I think 50.9 kind of answers that too.
Mhm.
Eula.
Yeah. Wanted to hear it out loud.
Okay, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Piggybacking on, Ms. Eulah's, question. And I'm gonna use myself as an example. What if my medication is off? My medication
I'll give you a shot.
my medication is off. Could there be,
Yeah.
adjustment by the doctor or an excuse till that situation is rectified? How would we go by that?
So you're saying not
Not to be here or
Yes,
differently.
yes,
to,
If it's not to be here, you're allowed 2 times a year to Zoom with a medical reason.
okay,
So at any time, if you don't feel that well, that you want to just Zoom in, you can Zoom in and still be able to vote.
okay,
With a medical excuse. Or a family member, if there's something, an emergency comes up, you're allowed 2 emergency, Zooms annually.
okay.
And if there's, if it's something that's gonna prolong or, you're doing some treatments for several months. There's nothing, again, you're elected officials, some boards that aren't a special district will say, if you miss 3 meetings, they could replace you.
Okay, I understand.
We don't have that because you're an elected official. So, we can request that you don't miss 3 meetings. But we would hope that, I really believe that we're all pretty much family here now. And we would understand what's going on and be able to work with you, whether you felt like you wanted to Zoom in or whether you just didn't feel well enough that you could participate. And at that point, Lee, if you went over the board packet and you said to Johnny or Eula or Teresa or Sherry, hey, I got a couple, or even myself, or emailed me. And said, hey, I'm not gonna make that board meeting, but I've reviewed the board packet and I have these questions. Can you guys address them and give me an answer so that I'm, still participating in your own way?
Okay,
Does that help?
yes,
Okay.
okay,
Yeah, or if you're camping out and eating hot dogs, you want to zoom in.
okay.
Well, and unless we're having a project, most of the meetings are, fairly normal or usual. So if you miss a meeting on vacation, it's not really that big a deal.
But, okay, just like you, of course, said, if you get any agreements, that's a different, is that a different picture?
Right. So if we're sick, you're allowed to, emergencies, never, you can zoom in at any, or 2 times without being, without any alternate, if you came, if it was 5 o'clock and you said, Sammy, I'm just not feeling good at all today, I'm not gonna make it, but I do wanna Zoom in, you could do that instead of participate.
Okay.
If you're on vacation and it's a planned thing and you wanna Zoom in, then it goes back to the old fashioned rules where you've gotta post the agenda, where you're gonna be at, 72 hours ahead of time, and it's gotta be in a public place so that we can, like, unfortunately, next week I have an SDRMA meeting that I'll do from my office here with everything going on in my. With everything, it's just easier, but I'll post an agenda here and instead of driving to Sacramento. So. I'll have to, they'll put my address or they'll put the district's address on the agenda, so if any public wants to come to that, they would be welcome to come and join me in my office for that meeting. So it'd be the same if you were camping and you'd have to post it at the KOA camp and if anybody at the campfire wanted to come visit and watch your participate, then they could. So,
But are you gonna have hot dogs?
yeah.
All right, all right.
S'mores.
Camping might as well do a steak.
That's
Right,
Come on now.
there you go.
Discuss, do you have any more questions?
I do know.
Mr.
No.
Mr. Harris.
Okay.
No question.
Make a motion that policy 4050. Second review and possible action to update policy 4050 and adding item 4050.7-11.
I'll second that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Now we get to the man of the hour. Mr. Noel.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Happy to report that tank is back online.
Yay.
This morning, so received good water quality results from testing that was performed. Everything came back okay. We have a few, I don't want to call them loose ends because they're not loose, they're getting tidied up. To speak, but the roof hatch on top of the tank, there's a minor adjustment that needs to be made there. And then in a deal with the contractor, the 1-year inspection next year, they're gonna come back and install that piece of safety equipment. Yep, get back online.
And put the ladder in.
Yep, that's correct. So,
Actually, that's this year, but in the fall.
yeah,
So scuba diving with no ladder now. Okay.
if someone wants to take Deb.
Hmm.
But yeah, so everything I think went fairly smoothly. No major hiccups. The project came in about $20,000 under budget. Which had a $5,000 change order in there. So overall, in my eyes, a project success.
Yeah.
And Royce, our operator, can go back to sleeping normally now.
Right.
Yeah. I do think-
20,000 under budget.
Yeah, so
That's
that's
good.
Yeah.
446,426 roughly. Yeah. Roughly.
It's included in your board package, 426,824.
And research. Yeah, so, thank you guys again for trusting us to help you guys out with this project and.
That's what we have you here for. Sure, our projects are good.
True, very true.
Absolutely, absolutely. Happy to
We
answer.
trusted the old guy, now we gotta trust the new guy.
So yeah, if you guys have any other questions, happy to answer them.
So the only other thing would be to approve the check that was in here for
You have to approve the
unified
check.
for 43,000.
I'll make a motion that we approve the check for 43,000, the final payment
1430.
for the elevated tank.
Since I signed that, I'll second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed. You and me both.
Yeah, amen. We're both going to jail.
Okay, fire department update.
So we have 11 calls in November, 9 medical, 1 burn pile and 1 miscellaneous. We did add in here, there was a couple of, board members that wanted to know what the codes meant, but on the CAL FIRE stuff, so I added that incident type description, so you have that for now and for further records. Next Tuesday, they're doing a hypothermia class in Susanville for Medical Tuesday with Don Mateo. And I did have a couple hour conversation today with Bobby Jutro. He's worked or been a volunteer for Susanville volunteer fire department for several years. Has a lot of certs and training and is now working for Susan River Volunteer Fire Department. He was gonna talk to his chief tonight and find out if his chief would understand him coming out here and training. So I was trying to work out with Bobby to be able to come out here on Fridays, because I know Devin usually works Monday through Thursday and have a training, so we can keep our training up. And train with our group and maybe start getting more cohesion going. Anyhow, going with the group. Plus, my thought was, when I was talking to Bobby, was to hopefully train up Mike or Devin into a position that they could become chief, and then we could have somebody that could be certified to do the training. So it would be something that would help HPUD, and somebody that would report to me and let me know what they actually need, because he's been out in the field as a volunteer for like 30 years. He's very mechanical minded. He's had his own business for several years. And I think he'd be a good asset, and he's really excited to come and work with our firefighters. So I'm hoping that that all comes together. It would be nice to know that he could go through the we have new SMBAs, but we have, we've bought, PPEs for wildland and for structure, but now we've got different firefighters, so, make sure that everybody's got as fit as corrected and just little things that we need. Unfortunately, we bought hoses like 4 years ago that our current volunteers, it still has 2 or 3 boxes on the shelf that aren't in the trucks. I'm not a firefighter, so I'm not sure why those hoses have not been laid on the trucks. Also, Bobby could help them with making sure that they are doing their lays properly on both trucks. And moving forward on that. And just any suggestions. I told him also that besides doing trainings on Friday with staff, I have 1 monthly meeting, which I plan on doing next Friday with fire staff. I've got some more new volunteer t-shirts for the guys, and just want to touch base with them, because we haven't got to touch base over the holidays, find out what's going on. Seems like we're getting a little distance. I'd like to bring that crew back together. Hopefully, like Bobby was mentioning, there at Susanville, Susan River Fire Department, when they have their meetings on Thursday nights, once a month, they have dinners. He says, it's just nice that as a group, we get together, we have a dinner, we go over everything for the month, and he goes, it makes us a family and we're a support system. We don't only know each other as when we're out there in an emergency, but we know each person's family members are acquainted with, and so they have, you want to know who has your back when you're on a fire.
Right.
Absolutely.
And the other thing that we were talking about was Bobby and Christina both have their EMRs, and making sure it's through Dawn and Don Mateo and a couple others that they could help work. Bring Mike's EMR current, and then finish up with Enosh's and possibly Devin's. Because then that again would just help our community, because they wouldn't be EMTs, but they would be EMRs. And that's, we have 98% of our calls are medical. So just trying to make our fire department more strong. Boy, that's good English. I am not an English major, but that was really bad. So, my daughter would be correcting me. Anyway, so just trying to make us stronger as a team. And I'm really proud of my utility team and my office staff. It's just, we're working together and we're such a family and it's so nice to know when you can't be here that things are done. And that if things need to be corrected, they're not afraid to ask and work together and get through any mistakes together. So like I said, just really appreciate it at all after 5 years of having such a fantastic team behind me. Because it hopefully makes me stronger, but it makes this whole district stronger with the team we have. So, and we like to do the same with the fire department. This community deserves that. Sorry, thought I could hold it together tonight, guys. I'm trying.
Question, Sandy. There was a lady that was at nurse training or something and she was talking about joining.
And she still is working on that. And she does come, Bobby Dutra does know her. And she does work at the old elder home in town and rehab. So she is an LVN. She would be very good and she could do her EMR. It wouldn't take much for her to have her EMR. It's just getting her involved or let her finish with whatever she's doing. And get that up to date so she has time to the fire department.
And then I was approached yesterday, Enosh and I was by a community member of it. I believe they live in Indian housing. And I can't remember his name. He's the guy that has the red truck that goes and he does all kinds of work, but he also was the guy, you know him, what's his
Phil.
name?
Philip Ageti.
Yeah, Philip, yeah. He did my truck, or I sold my truck and stuff, did a vacuuming job. He's a very detailed person. He has certs that he had like in 2020, something like that. That probably could be upgraded. He was real enthusiastic about doing it. First, when he came to, the sign said closed, so he didn't come in yesterday. But I don't know what he was doing today, but he's very positive and wanting to join the fire department.
The other thing, Brianna, I was trying to do is, Dawn Mateo, which is part of SIMSA and Janesville Volunteer Fire Department. She's, certified to do CPR training and staff, office staff and utility staff. I think we're outdated. And there's a couple of, volunteers. So we're trying to get a CPR class and an AED class here at the office, so we're trying to get that coordinated in the next couple months. Which would again be another good training for our volunteers, just to read in your aid. I think the big thing that I learned last time, we all go in emergency mode when something happens and you don't think, but they were really, and that's not correct either, but just taking a breath and walking through the AED and listening to it. Instead of just, worrying that this person's a couple of seconds is not gonna change the situation. And if you're better prepared and you have everything connected properly, and the AED itself actually walks you through it all, so. And tells you not to take your hands off the person when you're shocking them, so, it all works out well, but it was, you just. When somebody falls or has a problem, you just immediately want to help them, but sometimes you need to take a second too, so.
I think that was a great report. We have a lot of information and the future. And hopefully Philip follows through. That would be an asset, I believe.
Most definitely.
There's nothing else on, hey, wait, you got something on fire, Teresa?
No.
Lee? No. The only thing I'd like to mention that we brought up last month is I really would like to see if we can get on the agenda for prepping the firehouse to make a place out there for for us to have an office out there for training. And to put a bathroom in, where we can get rid of paying for that bathroom that's sitting out there that nobody basically uses. So that would be an asset for our community to have that. And
So-
for HPAD.
If the board would like, if it's not snowing, next month, we could just meet there at 5:15 and do a 10-minute walkthrough before our board meeting. We talked about doing that this month, but
Right.
I apologize for that.
Yeah, that's okay, Sandy, you got a lot on your plate, girl.
Thank you.
Okay. If nothing further on fire department, let's go to policy. 3039 billing adjustment. At the last board meeting, the district received a letter from a customer who would like a billing adjustment. Discussion and possible action, including the bill adjustment for one customer. And
So policy 3039 suggests that the district will do billing systems over a 12-month average using the previous 12 months. Unfortunately, this house was owned by her parents and it was rented out before she had it. She's only been in there for 10 months. We have 5 good months and we have 5 months of a leak. So if you take the 5 months and you divide that out.
well, I have something to say on that 5 months. I understand the 56,000 and 62,000. But I don't understand the 26 to 29 and 29, because I use that much water in the summer myself. I use 30,000 gallons of water, so if that's summertime, I can't see giving somebody a break on it if you're using that much water to pay for it. Now, the outrageous ones, yeah, I understand that, but I do 30,000 gallons in the summertime with my front and backyard. So that's not outrageous to me, because and she's got a yard, okay? The person has a yard and they water it all the time, so just like I do. So, Mark, I'm just bringing it up that those numbers are not out of line. My neighbor across the street, he's got the same way. And I don't know what you do, you have your, or what you have, Teresa, that
What's
you
with
water too, so.
Yeah.
There's people that water, keep a nice yard,
Mhm.
we're willing to pay a little bit more, and that yard's is watered, you can put grass in and plants all around the edges and stuff, and the water was running down the street from watering the plants, which out in the gutter many times this last year, so I'm just bringing that part up. You know, guys as a board would just do whatever, but I'm just wanna address that part. It's not unusual to have 25 to 30,000 gallons of water when you water in the summertime. Now, I'm not sure when those months are. But it does say, basically, we're.
The 2 high ones, the one is, looks like the May, June billing and then June, July billing.
Right,
So,
but the other ones are summertime. I mean, the ones I brought up are when you're starting to water. And you use the extra water to get it going, and then you water during the time that, those 3 aren't really out of line, but those, that, yeah, that. 56 and 62,000, oh yeah. I hope I never use that much water. I'd have to water my whole my 3rd acre out back or something.
Okay, I've got a, if I may,
Yeah, sure.
and start talking about this whole thing. I've been back and forth and around in circles and everything in my head about this whole thing that's being asked of us to do. If I'm understanding correctly, this all took place with the water leakage on the person's private property, not HPUD property, but on the person's private property. This whole thing seems to have been for a period of 5 whole months. Okay. I know that we can do this for a one time, according to what the policy says. I'm having issues with that because of the length of period of time that this all took place. And I'd like to know why this person didn't take care of this before a 5 month period of time was up. And also, if there was a personal reason for it that we might need to talk about other than in a public session, that we might be able to go into it and talk about it. Did this person come to you as the manager of this organization, talk to you about this problem and tell you what was wrong immediately? Or did this person just wait and wait and wait and wait until it got to be so expensive that they couldn't afford it? And then they expect the board to bail them out of their financial responsibility. I'm not trying to be mean, I'm just trying to say friendship is friendship and business is business. And if that person did come to you and talk to you about what was wrong and why they couldn't do that, is it possible for you to let the board know why we should go ahead and do this as you were suggesting that we do to help this person out? I'd really like to know why we should.
You know, she just came to me before the last board member meeting and told me, that she had 2 leaks, one that she had, handyman fix. And one that she actually had Mike the plumber fixed. So she said she had two repairs done on her property. She thought when, Johnny's son came out, but it was fixed, but unfortunately there was another leak found. So she had Mike the plumber come out and fix it. So
We have
she's
proof of,
correct.
we have proof of that?
I do not have proof of that. This was just, I told her that she needed to write a letter to the board, that I couldn't do anything about it, that it would be up to the board to make the decision to waive. Her letter is in there that she, you know, that we saw last month, but it's dated December 12th. And that is all I have. I don't really know this person personally. You know, she came to, came on at the 11th and mentioned it to us, and I told her she needed to write a letter to the board if she had it acknowledged. The board is up to the favor of the board. If they felt, we have done that one other time for the church. But we've not, you know, it's not something that we regularly see, because most people, when you see a high bill, and Sherry and I had this discussion before, usually I'm always looking, it's hard and more in West Patton Village, and like Johnny says, in the summertime, because I don't know who has a swimming pool. You know, or who's watering their yard, or what's going on in their backyards, you know, Lord help us, so we had a board member that had a garden in the alleyway, you know? So, you know, I have no clue what's going on. I just know that she took over this house 10 months ago, and she came in the office to make arrangements to make her payments. And she said, you know, mentioned that she had a leak and she didn't know if there was anything she could do about it. And I said, well, you can write a letter to the board, and the board does have one time deal, you know, to give it to her. But the other thing is too, you know, we give her this time, she has a major leak that's even worse next time.
What street was that? Was that property on?
It was on Juniper.
It's on Juniper Street. Okay, so now I know where we're talking about. Okay.
Right across from Arnold Young's old house.
I know.
It was a Connie Jenkins
I
house.
was gonna say, that's the same person who's trying to possibly get on our board,
Right.
or on our fire department.
Right, correct.
Because 2 names that were spelled differently.
Yeah, Talbot and Talbert.
Yeah.
She did, call one night, and when the leak was bad the first time, she did call. That was the one that Mike went and turned off. And then she came in and got the key so that she could turn the water off on her side.
When Mike,
The second time.
Mike the plumber came and got the
Right.
key,
Right,
yeah.
yeah. She brought it back as a.
And after that was fixed, is when my son went over, and I got over $100 worth of my personal products in her ground has never been paid for,
Mm,
okay? There's a $1,500 outstanding bill with no communication hardly at all, period, in over a month.
mm.
So she called and had somebody come by and get a key back in May on the
No.
first incident or in
No.
June?
It was, I think it was the second one in July, I think, I'm not.
In July. But then she waited 5 months to ask for this.
That's my
in
question.
December. I mean, that's
Yeah.
5 months. I mean, like, and don't get me wrong, I understand, cause I'm kind of seeing where you're going too. Now, as a landlord, I get notified by her that, I have possibilities of leaks. Now, while it does take about a month or two for that to come across me, because we don't know, maybe, holidays, somebody's had guests over, got a lot of people using water, that's not uncommon. Turn around and, just like summer months, obviously this was summer months that this occurred. I know our bills over in Serco property, our bills are outrageous because I have people with their swamp coolers, people watering in their backyard, so yeah, all of that's escalated. But why did she wait 5 months to request this?
That's my question.
I don't think she knew she could.
But even still,
I just told her when she came in here to pay her bill to make a payment that, when she told me she had a couple of leaks and she said, she was complaining about how much she was paying. And I said, well, you could ask for a relief, from the board.
okay,
Hmm. Well, and then I have another question.
Certainly.
Did she have insurance? Because I know a lot of residents has insurances, they will foot the bill. No?
Well, I have no.
What was your question,
That's not-
Teresa?
Sure.
I couldn't hear you.
Insurance, did she have insurance so that would help to pay for?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
because most liens and mortgages require insurance in order
Yeah.
to have that loan.
Well, and then her parents owned that house.
True,
So-
true.
If it was paid for and given to her, she
Mhm.
might not have it.
I mean, based off of what I normally read when I have problems with my community and we have water leaks. I look at the entire reading usage and based on what I'm seeing here. Her normal usage is an average between 26 and 29,000
Mhm.
on a normal basis. That's summer months is
Yeah.
what I'm looking at. So the difference between that and the 62 and 56, I would see that being appropriate
Yeah.
as a one-time deal, but again, what happens if it happens again,
Right.
Or it's only one time.
Well,
True, and that would be verbiage, of course, that would have to be written. But I mean, I don't see this large amount as being the highest. To me, it looks like her normal usage is 29,000. So that's a huge jump
That's what
difference.
mine is in the summer.
Right. So
Now, the outstanding ones, was it 56, 61, whatever it is,
56 and 62,
62, yeah, now
Mhm.
those are. And that's what consecutive months, won't they?
yeah, it's June and July.
And that's when the plumber came out and sort of fixed it and they had another leak probably. The pipes are old. I just replaced all my sewer pipes at my house, I know.
Mm.
And if that line hadn't been replaced. Makes a big difference.
Well, like Barbara and I were finishing, if you did just those 2 months and that difference, would drop it down to $116 relief. Because you be taking the difference between 56 and 62, which would be 58 gallons. Times 2 would be $116.
That sounds fair.
And that would make sense to me, honestly,
Yeah.
because I do averages all the time, like I said.
Good.
Yeah.
And I have another question on 3039.3.3. Says customer must repair the deficiency to good operating order and allow the district to inspect the plumbing system to verify adequate repair. Did our guys do that?
No,
No, we weren't aware of it. What I would consider is because at 11/21, she's down to 8,000 gallons that it's been repaired.
Oh,
that's when they did it, it's October, November time. And what it was broken way up under the house. They dug,
mhm.
Robert dug the whole thing up, him and Darren dug the
Right.
whole thing for the street end and found the leak was actually about 3 feet back under the house and
Mhm.
tunneled in and fixed it back there, so. Replaced the line, so. That other line that
Say 100.
Mike the plumber probably fixes probably more out in the yard, since they start breaking, they did
Yeah.
break.
Yeah,
26, 29, 29 divide that by 3.
yeah, cause I did that too. I was, man, I tell you, I was up figuring it
Sorry.
out.
We were,
Yeah,
the
sorry.
calculations confirming.
Yeah,
You guys, on the same page, John?
yeah, it
Oh, okay. So when you total up, I didn't do it.
was $116. And that would be for the 2 months, correct?
Right.
Yeah,
You guys wanna make a recommendation? We pay for the difference in those 2 months?
We'll just be waiving the,
Huh?
yeah, just giving her credit for the 116.
Good. Well, I'll make a motion. We give a credit for $116, the difference in those 2 months being so outstanding. 59,62,000. Have a second?
I'll second the motion.
All those in favor, say aye.
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 Anybody opposed? Lee?
No, I don't.
I'm just making sure. I see you shaking your head. I wanna
who
make
did
sure.
the first one?
Yes, sir.
Johnny made the motion, I
Okay.
second.
All in favor, okay, so now we're gonna go to policy 5010.5 annual organization meeting. The board of directors shall hold an annual organization meeting at a regular meeting in January. This meeting, the board will elect a president. I'll read from the page. Vice president, secretary, treasurer from among the members to serve during the coming calendar year, and will appoint a responsible managing employee as the board district clerk.
Can I say something?
Yeah,
Sure.
please.
I say just leave it the way it is.
So I have a motion or I have
Yeah.
on the board, I have a motion on the board to leave the direct president, vice president, and secretary as is.
I'll second that emotion.
Emotion.
That emotion.
Oh, my God, right, go back.
Miss Teresa, Miss Turk,
Uh-huh.
that would be leaving Miss Barbara Lee as your managing.
Yes.
employee.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, we're gonna make Barbara hang out with us
Mm,
another year.
Again, I know I said this last time and probably the time before, but it is a pleasure to come to the board meeting, so.
Oh, thank you.
All those in
So
favor,
then
say
you
aye.
said my.
Aye.
Aye.
I.
Opposed? Okay.
The other thing that I wanted to bring to attention that caught my eye when I was putting this board packet together, I guess we didn't make any changes since 2021 to this policy and actually in 5010.7. We should probably change that to the 4th Tuesday if we're gonna keep board meetings as is.
Right, I seen that.
Yeah, I saw that
Make
too.
it 5:30 p.m.
Yes.
So if
Yeah.
I can get a motion to change.
Yeah, let's make a motion for the 4th Tuesday month at 5:30 PM unless it falls on a holiday.
And is there a second? Do I second it or?
Please.
Yeah, yes, and I second it also.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Just you. I just think.
Well,
So.
Oh.
Lots for the GM report tonight. I even have more things to add to it, so. We'll start in the orders that you got in here, so. Miss Brianna Rocky and I gotta print that out so you can sign it, Johnny. Got sidetracked tonight. So Brianna has been here for 2 years.
This doesn't seem possible.
wow.
You know, I mean, she's been, this Cause she just blends in so good, you know, it just, there's no ripples, no nothing, and time flies, I guess, you know? She's an asset.
You know, she's kind and concerned to our customers. Um. I wanna say we have unique residents in her lawn. And she's very good about not being judgmental, so.
Think what?
Did somebody say she's strange?
No, no.
Oh,
No.
oh, that was good.
Strange residents. So, you know, a lot of people even ask me, well, what about Furlong? I said, I have my older group of Furlong residents that I love dearly and make my job easy. And sometimes hard because they ask more questions, but, then we have a lot of our, and you know, Sherry does such a phenomenal job with keeping her residents in line. She makes my job easy. It's unfortunately the renters, that we have in the other part of the district that, gets a little complicated and we wonder, like Patty says, some of them are a little strange. I will say they're a little unique in their own ways. But Brianna handles them. Being a Westwood girl, she knows how to handle them. Oh, and she's not afraid to, you know, when she makes mistakes, she's not afraid to confess up to them. You know, tonight she's, I guess Tony from California Rural Water was here. And I was joking, I said I was really blessed to have my staff, and she says, oh yeah, she says, I'm the last minute, Sandy's coming back from a meeting, and I'm calling Cassell saying, I need you to delete the whole thing and repost it, cause my GM will be here in 30 minutes and I need it to be right.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
I love it.
at least, you know, she shares what she's had to do and we learn from our experiences together. It's not, she doesn't hide things, so. And she's great with our customers and Barbara.
I
and
have to say that between Brianna and Sandy, if I make a mistake, old emotions of being afraid of having done something wrong, they are both so kind. And Brianna will say to me, it's okay, it's okay. And Sandy always says to me, it's all right. So we
I
are.
tell her it's
truly
okay. And
blessed.
it's time
I just
for her
don't feel like you're gonna
Yes.
get hung.
So they can spray it out.
Have you done it? When you work together, things get done.
Yeah, so it's been a pleasure to have Brianna in our lives. She kind of, she makes our day exciting.
Yep.
So, you know, we all bring to the table a little bit different, a different something, and it's just, really nice to have, it's a pleasure to have Brianna as part of our team.
Amen.
Right.
And then SDRMA Safety Days, I know that Sherry King went to it last year. If any of you folks would like to go to SDRMA Safety Days on March 18th, it's a Wednesday, so you'd have to travel down Tuesday night, stay down there Tuesday, and then back Wednesday. Please let Brianna or I know so that we can make reservations and get you set up to do that. With our insurance, 2 employees and 2 board members, we do get credit, CIP points, credit incentive points for going if a board member goes to our safety days or to any California special districts. So Brianna and I both will be traveling down to go to this, and Barbara's gonna hold down the fort. So that's the plan, so please let me know as soon as you can, so we can make sure and get you a hotel room, at the Hilton there at Arden, so that you guys, it's really, when you're staying at the same place, it's easier to go to the conference than have to drive back and forth, but. And then our Prop 68 SRF audit, I've been working with that, had about probably a third of it, information to them. But unfortunately with the death in my family and, things, I asked for an extension and there's a letter, an email in here that I got back yesterday saying that they would, the audit and plan to resume beginning in April, so they're giving me a reprieve on that, so I don't have to worry about it. The other thing that we all have to do, and I have to do it for SDRMA, so I'll learn through SDRMA and help you guys. As stewards of our finances and Hurlong PUD, you now have to file your Form 700 online. Which will all get a password and everything else to be able to do this. I just started getting some of the information from SDRMA to do mine for SDRMA. The county clerk said that she would get me the information for each one of you folks. So I'm hoping with my having to do SDRMA's first, I'll be a little more of an expert so I can help each one of you do it, or we can come in and do it on the computer in here. And, you know, it should be fairly simple. It's just a learning curve for all of us, to do, but, you know, as a being responsible for the finances for HUD is something that the state, this new state bill 852 that our governor has got through, we need to abide by. So, the HUD monthly newsletters attached, California Rural Water is again lobbying like they do in February, and they're asking for letters of support. Tawny Praisewater was here from CRWA today, and I just basically cut and pasted what we did last year and sent her on her way with that this afternoon, so it's not a new board packet. It's on my computer. So, and I went to the Board of Supervisors meeting today, to continue almost a 10-year fight to get special districts on the LAFCO board. Pat and I really felt that that was something that was necessary. I still think it's necessary. We are one of 2 LAFCO boards in the state that doesn't have a special district on it. The way that it's split up at other LAFCO boards is the county pays a third, the city pays a third, and special districts pay a third. Jennifer, our new LAFCO board chair, she has got pushed through with other counties. The special district, instead of paying a third, only pays 16%. So that 16% would be divided among the 200 special districts in Blasson County. Us being probably the 3rd highest budget would pay the 3rd amount of that 16%. So Elmwood and Susanville Sanitary District would take the biggest blunt, and then HUD. Our little districts like Doyle Fire Department, Big Valley Fire Department, they would be probably paying, it would be under $100. 2 years ago, when we started down this path, Jennifer actually had it all prorated out, and I think HUD's portion was like $1,100 annually. So it's not a big jump to our budget. But I really think it's necessary, knowing in the last 25 years what this district had to go through to become a district, and trying to educate the LAFCO board why we were doing what we do when we came from, you know, a nonprofit to a corporation to an HUD, and them telling us first that we couldn't become the district we wanted to because we had West Patton Village as the whole of our donut. And, you know, LAFCO, they are our sphere of influence, you know, and if we had to go back, to annex in both of our wells, which actually saved us as a district. We were paying the county over $140,000 in taxes a year. Once we became a PUD, we didn't have to pay the county the taxes. But that's another thing, like on, for a while there, we were just here, and then our lines, we had to pay taxes on the water line going to the wells and both the wells, and then we annexed the wells and that whole line. And then in 2017, when we took on, we combined West Patton Village, the Hurl, UD. You know, again, that was all done through LAFCO because they are our sphere of influence. I know at one point in time, this board wanted to enlarge our fire department district. So that we were more viable out to 395. Right now, we just go to the bridge. And we talked about that and bringing, you know, with our fire tax that would bring in, but again, we would be going back to LAFCO, asking them to broaden our sphere of influence, cause right now Milford and Doyle come in at basically from the bridge out to 395 is Milford and Doyle. You know, and praise the Lord, we didn't get that because we haven't had a big volunteer fire department, but hopefully we're growing that and we get young people. We've got a couple of young men now that are part of our fire department that'll hopefully grow with, you know, stay here and grow with this community. So I just think that this is it's been a passion. And I think Sam from the Lassen County paper, he took pictures of me talking today. Chris Gallagher, who was on the board of supervisors and also a past GM of special districts, spoke with me. And we had a good conversation. I think we took the longest portion of the agenda today. And answered and asked a lot of questions. So the board of supervisors today approved 4 special districts to be on the board at the 16. Now, unfortunately, it's going to leave it to myself and a few other people, CSBA, California Special District members in our chapter are trying to go out and get these small districts to understand, you know, why they're being charged $10 annually or why they're being charged $100 annually. And hopefully share my passion with them, why I feel like their board should let loose of the small dollars that can actually help each of us as a special district. So we're working on that. And then at that point, once we get that passed with the special districts, I think we've got to get like 51% to say yes, and then it would go. And then it would be a matter of if one of you folks or one of the directors of El Mud or Susanville Sanitary District wanted to do that. LAFCO meets 4 times a year, so it's not a big commitment. And it's actually in the afternoons. I think it's at 3. It's 3 o'clock in Susanville 4 times a year. But it's just nice that, you know, California special districts, we've worked really hard to help educate the grand jury on special districts. And now you're asking for somebody that, a group of people, you know, the county and the city that don't have any idea what special districts are. And I brought it up again today, and I hated to say it in the presence of who I was, but my best way to explain to people what special districts is what a county and city doesn't want to do. That's where we come in. You know, we're the mosquito betment, we're the cemetery district, we're the volunteer fire department, we're the water and sewer. Because, you know, Lassen County doesn't have wells, you know, their water doesn't run this far from Susanville to here. You know, so when we wanted to bring water and sewer here, that's why we have a special district. You know, volunteer fire department, 40 miles away, they don't wanna respond, so we start a special district. And I know I'm preaching to the choir to most of you guys because you guys were well versed with West Patton Village being a special district, so. Again, you can tell I'm a little passionate about that. So we, you know, if that's something that you're interested in being on the LAFCO board, hopefully when that happens, that would be great.
Actually, 4 people in this room were on the Patton Village board. Her too.
Yeah.
So the ironic thing that I have last printed on here was I had asked SBMA for earthquake insurance, and then about 2 months later, we had our little earthquakes here.
Yeah, you could barely feel it though.
I felt
I didn't
very
feel-
well at home.
Oh, did you?
Oh, yeah.
Well, because it came from the north in front, around Reading. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm,
So I haven't felt one in probably 15 years here.
yeah.
And I was sitting in my chair and I thought that once in a while, the washing machine gets off kiltered and my china cabinet was shaking and I thought, I don't even have any laundry. What's going on? You know? And then the second time I was in bed and my whole bed rolled. So that was, kind of crazy because I don't have a
Mm.
water bed anymore.
Oh, come on.
But
Too much information.
Yeah, TMI.
Anyway, that is a premium increase would be 24,000 annually to have fire earthquake, for the whole entire district, including our elevated tank, ground tank, wastewater office. But my next thing is to go back to SDRMA. We have, a $5 million policy. Most districts have a 2. So my question would be if we reduced ours to 2 million. Instead of 5 million and added the earthquake, would we be at similar cost that we're at? And then that would be a decision to bring back to this board before, actually before May. So that the underwriters could write us at a different, because our insurance goes from July 1st to June 1st. We would need to let them know April or May, whether we would be changing our policy or our policy and or adding earthquake insurance or not. And we can add earthquake at any time, but it just was something that made me think with us doing the elevated tank recoding. I know I was here when we built the elevated tank and was really impressed with all the extra, it's not barbed wire. Rebar, thank you. All the extra rebar that is under each one of those platforms. Because we do have it built for earthquakes and it is built to sway. But, Mount Weston erupts or we have something major, where is it gonna put Furlong at? So
Mm.
again, trying to be the good stewards of our community and making sure that we don't lose our infrastructure. It was just something I brought up to them. So, I did receive today via email, I guess yesterday, that we are getting a rebate check from our credit card. We pay, which I love. We pay our Puma Sierra Electric on our credit card. So that's a nice little, when we pay, $10,000 to $14,000 monthly, it helps. So we're getting a $2,848.74 put in our bank account for using the credit card to pay our bills. So that's a nice little bump, a little extra. Mr. Al Roca, our gentleman that was from Search and Rescue. He, unfortunately, they were supposed to sign the papers last week on that property out there. And I guess the gentleman had planned to gift it to them. And he didn't talk to his wife, and it's actually his wife's property, and she's not willing to gift it.
Oh,
So he is looking to, thank you, for any property either to buy, gift that anybody around here, they're still really interested in this area. They really would like to do something to help us, which again, from Chief Rocco was talking, it would be a big asset if we had, somebody with search and rescue experience. They, again, with our volunteer fire department, they help. Plus, he was talking about with all the trash, and the ordinance with a park that they wanted to put in, he could help us, get rid of some of that extra trash that's being alleviated out there in the desert on our property. So I think they would be a good partner and even for Sierra Alliance and for everything going forward. So he's just asking me if anybody has any names or anybody idea of any property that you guys could bring forward, or I could email him that he could research and maybe contact to see if they would want to sell. He's seen a piece of Wimple's property that he was interested in. Barbara had talked to the Wimple family and they're not wanting to sell that piece of property. I was thinking of Dahlia's trust that's out there, that piece of property that I think we have people that have living in it that
There's
don't
squatters,
have permission.
squatters.
There's squatters that maybe that piece of property out there could be of value or something that he might be able to buy out of their estate. But I didn't know, you guys, live here, y'all know more what might be available, for Wildland Park. If there's something that, and when I say wildland, it's not so much for, yeah, it's wild land, not wild animals, wildland. So we do have that skipper butterfly that is dangerous in our area. So every time that we do something out the plant, we always have to watch to make sure that we don't, and we have a flower that's out there that, and with that wildland park, it would actually encompass some of that and maybe there would be more of that in that area or whatever. So he just was really excited and is kind of upset that don't have anything at the moment, so they are looking for another piece of property if anybody.
I have a question. We have a lot of acres out there that we're not using. Could we donate 100 acres to his project?
So-
Down the far end, down by the lake?
I was thinking of that too. We have a quarter section, so we have 640 acres out there, the wastewater plant. We had thought about, using it for reuse. At one point in time, we had talked to the community college and we were gonna do something with them with a sprinkler line and then being able to put our biosolids out there for hay. When we thought that we were going to lose CNS waste as a biosolid hauler, I did contact the state and had been doing some research on possibly land management. Where we could put that out there on our own property. Which would save us about $50,000 a year.
Wow.
So that would all be in consideration. Do they want, yeah, it would be an idea to have that park on the back part of our property. But at the same time, if we ever need it for an emergency situation or needed to use it as for land use for our biosolids. I don't know if they'd want it that close to us. I've been concerned over the years because they, Kim Dieter and merchants own, the property between the mobile home park and us out there, and those are all sectioned out into housing to build. And so unfortunately, Dieter, Beckett, merchants, they all there's a lot of lots. So they pay the $64.77 per lot out there, so they pay quite a bit for the fire tax. My thought was, if they ever built houses, that's right in front of our wastewater plant.
Oh, wow.
And we were there first, so please don't
Yeah.
come to me and tell me that it smells when you
Yeah,
built the house in front of my
exactly.
plant.
Mhm.
I mean, we do pride ourselves on having good bugs and we take care of it, so it's not smelly, but. If the wind blows wrong, don't complain.
Yeah,
So it's things to consider, we could bring it back on the board agenda, Donnie, to talk about that more and see, if we,
Well, he was gonna get, what was it, 78 acres or something?
yeah.
Something in that field. If we could designate the bottom 100 acres or something. Because that'd be close to where he wanted to be at anyway. Isn't that right?
Yeah, we just we have monitoring wells out there too, so we need to be
But not on
careful.
that lower part, do we?
No, but if we put something like that out there, that might be a consideration that we would probably want to, again, fence. I know that Brianna is working on a cow recycling grant that maybe we can get fencing, but at least get that area cleaned up. Hopefully we'll know, I think June or July, when we get that grant. But,
It's
if
food
we're
for
gonna
thought.
have something open to the public, we wouldn't want them
yeah.
to be breezing by our
Mhm.
monitoring wells.
being how we have a park thing under our hat or influence, you know, it was, and that's what the guy basically wants to do. So, you know, as you said, working together as a partner with them, maybe something could be worked out, at least it's food for thought. And, you know, see what you guys come up with and come and bring it back to the board and let us know, you know, if 100 acres out of 640 is gonna hurt us, or, you know, the pros and cons of it.
Maybe something to, you know, because we know you're bored since we don't have a project for you right now, and, you know. You could possibly look at our acreage and see if we did a land application, how much land we might possibly need.
Yeah.
And what we might have available.
Yeah, that should be pretty simple to look at, the regulations and whatnot. So, take a look.
Pays to stick around.
Who said it?
That's all I have tonight.
I wanna speak as a board. That our deepest sympathies go to Sandy and the family, the loss of her mother. It's most of us here has lost a parent or something probably, and a sibling, and it's really very hard to go through. And
Yes, it is.
it's sympathy for you, and anything you need from the board, Sandy, we'll grant you the time or whatever you need, okay?
Thank you.
I think the board agrees with me.
Absolutely.
I will, be taking the rest of the week off, and then they're supposed to pick up the oxygen on Monday, so I'll be taking Monday off. I've already talked to SDRMA, and I'm gonna zoom in from the office here so that I can be here for staff. With me being off so much, I don't feel like comfortable driving down, so I can go off the van.
Yeah.
And then I'll probably need some other days, because unfortunately, I'm going to be, have to have all my mom's stuff out of her rental by the end of February, because
That's soon.
yeah, I mean, because I'm gonna pay another month's rent to keep, you know, to give me, so I don't have to get it all out by this weekend, because there's no way that's gonna happen. Yeah, so. Thank goodness for all of my Lassen County friends and family, because, sometimes your family, your biological family doesn't always come to help. It's, so,
You know,
thank you guys.
you know, we have something for projectors for you,
Yes, I do.
Mr. Harris. There's, this is her.
Yes, first of all, I just want to ask you about that, the SB 852. So you're gonna go to Sacramento to get that under your belt, and then you're going to show us. How to make
actually,
those forms.
SDMA is gonna show me, because I just got my email, so I'll know how to do it. Cause I
Okay.
have to do it for SDRMA for my
Right.
700 with them,
Okay,
and I'm still waiting on the county to get you guys your link to
okay,
call to be able to do the same thing.
okay,
I just received my link from SDRMA.
yeah. So when
last
you
few
say
days.
link, is that for on the computer,
Yes.
and we could do it?
Yes.
So would I be able to do it here
Yes.
then? Oh, okay. And with that, I also want to add that I did my ethical workshop on January 6th and also my sexual harassment on January 14th. And that new sexual harassment, boy, that's new. It's 2026. And I had a hard time with that. Yeah.
Teresa, we're having a hard time with the computer and stuff. too,
Yeah.
And I praise her for sticking through it all.
Yeah, I
It was supposed to be a
did.
2 hour thing, and I think she was here for 4 hours. Dealing with it, and it was all because of
Yeah.
the connection and
Yeah.
different things, so.
But you know, I wanted to compliment Bree because she was such a help. And she was there, she didn't get frustrated, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, she's gonna get frustrated with me, but no, she was wonderful. And I give her kudos, yeah, she's a great help, great asset to the HPUD. Absolutely.
Teresa, she does that for Barbara and I all the time.
Yeah.
She hears me and they're yelling at that darn computer and I'm like. Yeah, and I keep thinking,
Yeah.
that I've got this under control, and I used to be the person that did it for my parents.
Mhm.
And now my kids and Bree are much
Mm.
better than I am, and
Mm. Mm.
yeah. And you get an
That's good.
electrical card put in there too, and you have to, I'm testing out the electrical card. 'Cause it's, it's all kinds of fun.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah.
Not only the computer and the phone. My poor mom, she had to go the last 4 months, her old flip phone. She had forever and she loved it because when she was done, she flipped it closed. And I mean, she duct taped that puppy together. And
Hey,
it died and they had nothing. And
No,
so
you're right, you're right. I had an old flip phone that I loved, but then you had to change over to
Yeah.
the 5, whatever the heck it is.
well,
I can barely do it.
the other
It's
thing that,
horrible.
that we're realizing
Yeah,
is she got her a pen, but
Mhm.
your fingers usually aren't as warm as you get older. and
Right.
So it's harder.
Mhm.
So I got the pen so that she could do that. But then and I only had 3 icons on the whole phone. And she'd call me and I'd stop by, morning and night and. There's no phone. The phone is off my phone. I can't even download.
Aw.
Cause she had swiped it completely
Off.
the thing, and
Aw.
like messages, mom, where's messages? She'd swiped it off the thing. And then I get everything come back on and she's like, she should touch, I can't, it won't call you. It won't call you. There's your name. I'm like, I touch it. I'm like, look, mom, how many times can I call?
Yeah.
It's like, I do that. It doesn't do it.
That's exactly.
Bless her heart.
Exactly. My sister told me she doesn't want it. She says, I'm gonna get you a phone, but don't ever call me again to ask. Unless you do this. And I said, I can't get another phone. I don't even hardly know how to do this one, and I've had it 2 years already. What I have to do if somebody calls me,
Mhm.
you can't answer. It will not answer.
Yeah.
So I have to read the number and then call them back.
Is that on your cell phone?
Yes, on
Yeah.
your cell phone.
So
Oh, my
It
goodness.
won't show up, like there's a
Yeah,
cute phone up on
right.
top.
Right.
When somebody calls me, my niece does it, it comes up right away for her. Oh, dip, dip, dip. This is what you do.
Oh.
And I try it, I cannot do it.
Patty, rub your fingers on your pants.
Oh, yeah?
beforehand. And like Sandy said, if your fingers aren't warm.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So
I know, cause I'm used to the old flip phone where you press hard. but
Yeah.
my
That's,
sister
well,
goes,
that's
"No, don't press hard."
exactly. That's mom.
That's-
pressing
yeah.
too hard.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's what she says.
I got the really cool, it was pink and sparkly, from one of the conference that had one of those pins and I gave it to mom. But that was just it. And then like. when
That
I
is so
called,
funny.
She'd do the same thing. She'd hit it and, and it's like, it won't answer.
Right,
The
yeah.
one thing I will say, saving grace for the car and my phone is it does listen to me. So I think if you can get one that'll listen to
Yeah,
you.
right.
You can say,
Mhm.
hey Siri or hey Android or anything, answer it. As I always love my husband's in the morning, he's always going, hey Siri, I'm snooze. And Siri's so proud, I snoozed it. I'm like, well, and he does that like 3 times in the morning. And Siri's like, I snoozed it. I'm like, she's so proud of herself.
Well, no,
That's how
that's
mom
what
likes
happens to me. It's terrible.
Sherry, did you have anything?
I did not, thank you.
I just want to remind everybody that on the supermarket Mondays are from 1:30 to 3. And at the Old Chapel. And the second and fourth Saturday from 9 to 12 is a regular food bank from Northern Nevada. And Doyle, we've got everything about ready to go. We're waiting for the final paperwork to go in and the approval. And we're not positive if it's gonna be 2 times a month or once a month. They used to do it once a month. But they're thinking about 2 times a month, and if they do, it'll be the first and third, so there would be
Mm.
food. If they would be doing it on a Friday, if it works out right, cause they would be getting their food for Northern Nevada like we do here, except we get ours on Friday. And the one that goes to Milford and a couple others, they have a run on Thursday, so they get their food Thursday and be able to deliver it on Friday.
When you said, what day is it, on Saturday or on the
For
second?
who?
floor? Here,
Here it's Saturday. We get the food truck on Friday, but the food is from 9 to 12. On the second and fourth Saturday. And every Monday from 1:30 to 3 is Supermarket Monday. And what we get there is if there's anything that's given away over at, I call the Doyle Mall. If they give us is brought over, or a vehicle goes over and picks up whatever they have. And then the trailer I donated to them, camper for the food is in Susanville, they go up and get that. It usually comes back around 12 to 12:30. And the volunteers come at 12:30 and help set everything up.
And so they start doing that at 1. Do they
And
do
it
that at 1?
starts it starts at 1:30.
Yeah, 1:30.
1:30 to 3.
And that's at the Post Chapel here?
Yeah,
Okay,
it's in the newsletter.
yeah, I saw it, so but I want to make sure. So no changes, yeah.
I update, might not be a car show this year, it's in the air,
Oh,
because it wasn't that successful last year. Even though it would be cheaper this year because with the proximity of the chapel, having the cars out in the street right there, and the fact you don't have to pay $600 for bathrooms to be brought in, because you have bathrooms there, so they're working on it. I don't know if that's gonna happen or not, but they are still wanting to do the Easter Fest, which was about 350 people showed up for the Easter Fest.
that was nice.
That was a
yeah.
big success. Hopefully, we're able to redo that, because I thought that was real good for the community,
Mhm.
so hopefully. And my son that started all that is in Salem, and he'll be back down in about a month, but then he leaves. Him and his wife go to the Philippines,
PI, huh?
yeah, going to the Philippines and
Do you know where area they're gonna be at in the Philippines?
I don't know, it's like 8-hour drive from Manila. to
Oh,
where it is.
okay.
It's a long ways,
Okay.
and they got 3 or 4 pieces of property that's being gifted to them on a 99-year type lease. There's 2 churches that we're gonna have to take over, build another church. Hopefully in the future, build a house instead of a hut. But it's pretty, it's a big undertaking. I'm glad it's them and not me.
Yeah.
John, I recently found out that you are a new grandfather or great grandfather?
Great grandfather for the
Yes.
3rd time, yeah.
Yes, and he's our volunteer firefighter, Mr.
Mhm.
Enosh.
Yep.
What's the baby's name?
Eon,
Eon, okay.
or Aaron, looks like Aaron.
Aaron.
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
It was,
Eon.
when we thought it was, we talked about that, then they changed it to Aaron.
Oh,
Cause it's after something in the Bible, and then
Yeah.
the middle name is a name from the Vietnamese side, that's
oh, okay.
how it works, and I can't, hung or some, hung, I don't know what it is, but
Mhm.
anyway, he was 7 pounds and 2 ounces and 20 inches long.
Ooh,
How many,
she's
how, has
she's-
And
seven?
she's only that big.
I know, yeah, she's still tiny
She was
little
this
thing.
big when she had the baby.
Yeah, no,
And then up in Susanville. Of course, the baby, like a lot of them have jaundice, and so, it saved
Yeah.
an extra day or 2. And then I was up in Susanville coming out of Walmart, and Enos coming in, he goes, well, we just had him circumcised, and he didn't like it.
yeah, well,
Duh.
They never.
yeah, they don't.
So, but I'm
It's
getting
green.
whatever we have to get, and Cat's in the car with the baby, because the baby's not happy.
No,
It's sort of funny. Okay, 7:05, meeting's adjourned.
Yep. So then,
Thank you, everybody.
Mhm.
if all of you will give me back the